know, it's very exciting. I mean, we've played it already once in 2016, but I wouldn't necessarily say that I was a contender back then. But now I'd like to think of myself as one. So it's something that I'm really looking forward to. I've known about it for over a year now, and we can't thank the CIB obviously enough. But yeah, and it's gonna be in my backyard. It's gonna be in front of my family, my coaches, everyone who's put in the work over the years. So to win it there would be really special as a thank you to all of them. Believe it or not, it's not one of my happiest days because of Noor's loss, but it was such a huge relief to win that, because I really was desperate to win a World Champs before I retire one day. So I've said that many times. The fact that Noor plays before me kind of gives me an advantage, not the other way around, because it takes the pressure off of my match. And then I stepped on court. Obviously, Noor was devastated, but as professional as ever, she just gave me the encouragement to go on court. And I started off really well, I remember. I won the first game, and then Tarek started doing Tarek things, you know, moving me all over the court, and I started getting really edgy. And then I decided, okay, I'm just gonna play very passively, lob every single shot until I wait for Tarek's errors. And I remember the third was a flip of a coin, and whoever was gonna win this was gonna run away with the fourth. So I did, and I was very confident going to the fourth, and I think I won it in not a very long period of time. And just afterwards, I was all in tears for 10 minutes. My parents were in tears. My brother was in tears. Well, this was a lot more special than the one in 2019 for so many reasons. One of which is the one you mentioned, is because I'm playing the greatest player of our generation, Muhammad. And I was 1 love down, 7 love down. And somehow I find a way to win this second, not only to come back and just get my groove into the match. My parents were there. Mike Way was there. My daughter was born 11 days earlier. And I wasn't playing well beforehand. I just played the World Tour Finals and I'd lost all 3 of my matches. So everything about it was very, very special. And because I wasn't so desperate about it, I could feel the emotion sink in afterwards. And I was really, it wasn't relief as much as it was happiness and joy. And that's why it was a very, very special moment. Because my daughter was born a day before the tournament, and I had to go into kind of quarantine. It wasn't exactly that, but I couldn't spend much time with my daughter. So all I did was overnight. I didn't get a single minute of sleep, and I was just staying with my baby even when she was asleep. So it was a great celebration. I mean, it was a very odd celebration, but for me, it was the best 10 hours that I've spent after winning a tournament. I would say that Paul is definitely the one with the highest form at the moment. But for me, I'm not thinking that far ahead at all. I've got a long draw ahead of me. I mean, everyone is playing really well at the moment, and I have to be on my mettle. And I always think that the biggest threat is myself. Like, whether I'm playing well or I'm finding my groove or not. And if I do, I always believe that I can win any match on the PSA World Tour. And hopefully I can put a good performance, 6 matches back to back, and I can run away with the trophy. But again, this is way too far ahead of myself. I told you many times, I'm not one who's chasing more and more titles. I'm not one. I play the game. I very much enjoy competing with those top guys. If I end up my career with 1 world title or 5 world titles, my life is not going to change one bit. It's going to be the same. So I mean, 1 or none, yes, would have made a difference. I would have felt that I wanted to achieve something I didn't. But again, the fact that I'm still playing and that I'm still competing, I would put every single sweat and every single blood I have to just try and win it for a 3rd time. I would like to keep it in Egyptian hands for as long as possible, at least on the men's side. This is what I have control over. But also, if you're thinking purely from a selfish standpoint in terms of our sport, I think it's good to diversify every single year, to have an English winning it, a French, Kiwi, Peruvian, whoever you may name them. But it's always great to see different faces winning the world champs. But again, now not thinking about the Egyptians, not thinking about the sport, I'm only thinking about myself, and I'll try to keep it in my hands if I can 1 more year.